thing at all. And I don't care no more.
Carl Dougal, my style, them unusual. The views when me speak, you no need to agree. Me welcome all interactivity. Rock and come in, sit for your beat. Come make we reason for real. And yo, Jal, I'ma say comment when you need to, like if you want to, and share if you have to. And yo, Jal. Welcome to another episode of Unusual Speaks. And this is where Carl Dougal, the unusual, expresses himself in such a way that he might sound different from the average person. My views are not necessarily those of any person you know on this planet. My views are not intended to cause any harm to any person, to any group, or to any organization. But in the event that someone's feelings gets hurt during my presentation or my program, please understand that I have a big, long ladder. And this ladder can help you to climb down out of your feelings safely. Also, I have some band-aids. And these band-aids can help to patch your ego should it get bruised along the way. So with that being said, my people, let's get into today's reasoning. So today's reasoning is the regulatory bodies of Jamaica. Now, there are several regulatory bodies in Jamaica, but I'm just going to touch on a few. And we have some that you might not even realize that they are regulatory bodies. You know, but you might not be even paying attention. Namely, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, or the Police Services of Jamaica. They regulate the policies, the rules of Jamaica on a day-to-day basis. And so the uppermost regulatory body of Jamaica is Cabinet. And this is where all the rules and the laws are formed in the executive branch of our government. But there are some regulatory bodies that were created by both PNP and JLP. They're saying now these regulatory bodies supposed to be in the best interest of the Jamaican people. And so oftentimes the die-hearted PNPs and the die-hearted Laborites, they only find problems with these regulatory bodies when their party is not in government, or when their party is in government. But for the regular Jamaican citizens who face these, who needs the service of the regulatory bodies, then they are going to look on both PNP and JLP as two parties that do not care for the interests of the Jamaican people. So let us break down the regulatory bodies, the few that we're going to talk about today. Number one on the list is our OUR, the Office of Utilities Regulation. And so we have some major utilities in Jamaica that the Jamaican public depends on a daily basis. So the JPS, which is a monopoly utility company in Jamaica, meaning that there's no other. Now, JPS operates in such a manner that they can raise our utility bill at will, and they have no problem. Nobody is going to challenge them. But we are told that the OUR, the Office of the Utilities Regulation, it is supposed to regulate these people so that they don't give us they don't overcharge us, and we are supposed to get what we pay for. What? That not sound good? That's not true. Over the years, under JLP and under PNP, we realize that the JPS charges us whatever they feel like charging us. And when we're supposed to report these things, we don't have any representatives. Once upon a time, you could walk into the JPS, and you could see someone sitting at a desk and say, "Oi, come, hey, no, make a lot of noise and get somebody's attention." After you get somebody's attention, someone just come over and say, "Okay, sir, okay, ma'am, all right, we're going to have someone to come and look on your problem, and we are going to make sure that we take care of your problem." Yeah, a few years later, the problem remains. So, the JPS is always the dominant utility service since they have no other challenge. And so we depend on the Office of Utilities Regulation to fight the JPS on our behalf so that they don't take advantage of the Jamaican people. And so far, ever since they had total control over our utility service, they have been kicking us. Oh, you are? I don't think that you're doing a very good job. OUR is also responsible for regulating the telecommunication company. The telecommunication giant in our country is Cable and Wireless, or Flow. But then Digicel is another telecommunication company that they're saying to us that they're operating independently of Cable and Wireless. I really don't think so, but this is what is on record, that the Digicel and Cable and Wireless are operating as two separate companies. But Digicel can charge us whatever they feel like charging us for their phone cards. And Cable and Wireless does the same thing. They charge us for internet and any other service that they don't deliver. And we now are supposed to go to the Office of Utilities Regulation to have them rectify our issues. And guess what? We have never heard of any case. Perhaps there might have been a case where the OUR reprimand the JPS for, or the telecommunication giants for abusing the Jamaican people, but I've never seen any evidence of that. Maybe it's not too late for me to learn. If you know it, text it in the comment section. But the telecommunication company have a free reign. They do whatever they want. We pay for things that we don't get. And we have no representation in the Office of Utilities Regulation. Now, the Office of the Utility Regulation also regulates the Water Commission. And that is another company that charges us for water that we do not get in our taps, in our pipes, in our homes. And there's no one for us to walk into the office who can help us to deal with our problem. And so we are supposed to go to the Office of Utility Regulation for them to regulate these people on our behalf. But to be fair to the OUR, it's a twofold system where if you have a problem with any of these utility companies, Cable and Wireless, JPS, and the Water Commission, then you should file a complaint. File a complaint to the OUR. But if you file a complaint and you're not willing to follow up your case until it ends, then your case is going to be thrown through the window. And then you're going to say that the OUR is not doing its job. The OUR can only investigate the problem that you have. And if you have the problem and you just make a whole bunch of noise and then you don't follow up with your case, then OUR will not be coming to your door to knock on your door to say, "Hey, do you have a problem?" No, you have to follow up your case when you think that these utility companies are not delivering on the promise. They are not delivering what you pay for. Okay? So, while we still think that the OUR is incompetent, we still have a responsibility to give them the work to do and to follow up. Without that, they can do little or nothing to help us. All right. So let us move on to another regulatory body, and we call it now the Customs. The Jamaica, look on the screen.
The fight against corruption remains an important task and one we intend to win.
Customs officials are particularly susceptible to corruption because of the scope, nature, and complexity of their work. The Jamaica Customs Agency, JCA, is therefore continuously seeking ways to strengthen its anti-corruption efforts. The engagement of all stakeholders, critical to the agency's fight against corrupt practices, is one strategy used in these efforts.
What we need to do is to ensure that we create an environment that is resistant to corruption. And critical to those are the processes that we have. If you don't have proper processes and systems, you will expose your organization to all type of corruption. And when there are system breaches, then the requisite punishment must be meted out or sanctioned.
This department, Customs, was overseen by the JLP and the PNP. And from my understanding, both the JLP and the PNP are ineffective when it comes on to customs regulation. Let us move on to another regulatory body, which is called the Ministry of Labor. Let us just zoom in on the regular workers of Jamaica.
Redundant and resentful. A group of Bahia principal workers in Runaway Bay St. Anne are expressing displeasure with the management of the hotel.
Dozens of them are here today to collect what is now left of what for a lot of them were years of their livelihood. Now the money that they'll be signing up to collect today is payment from November 16 until the end date on each of their contracts. Now a lot of the persons that they've been here since morning in the hot sun with little to no communication from the hotel management.
Some people are dependent on it and this will work, but since what happened now, there's lots of people probably head are hurting them, thinking about lots of things, no other work, because me and my person, I try several other ways work. I don't get through that yet. So even during the storm, they make me work. We then give you for pay and nothing because we have to wake up out of our bed from 3 o'clock in the morning, stand up on our foot till much o'clock in the night, work, cook, because I'm a chef, and turn up for the whole time.
A stone's throw away from Bahia's main entrance.
No benefit from it, and no clear pocket, nothing at all. Not even if it's all right, my staff, I appreciate for what you do for us, so here is something. Nothing at all, and give it, they don't treat me like a puss and dog.
Paul Copeland was working at Bahia for 10 years.
It's rough, that's why I always say the Ministry of Labor should have intervened, because you shouldn't be working at a place 10 years and not getting staff.
The duties and responsibilities of the Ministry of Labor is to ensure that workers work in a safe environment, workers get the benefits that they deserve, and they are prevented from unfair practices and unfair treatment by corporations. But the Ministry of Labor, you have not done a good job in that regard. Over the years, we have seen, and we can play a video.
From 1999, we had what was called a tourism master plan. I had to review that plan in my PhD work. Tell you something. Do you know that tourism is a sector that at the least, I want people to listen to this carefully because some people like to jump to conclusion, you know. At the least positive multiplier effect on the Jamaican economy. What do I mean by that? The leakage, and some of these guys in government are liars. The leakage from tourism was estimated to be 70%, which means that 70 cents out of every dollar generated in tourism leaves the country.
The Ministry of Labor is not representing the Jamaican people, the hotel companies, and we are so hasty to, oh yes, we have to put things into place for the hotel industry because it's bringing the most revenue in our country. But is this revenue really and truly benefiting the regular Jamaican people?
And if contract break finish and someone will not go get no, then should not have something to give us same way, because the care package, every other hotel give care package, and Bahia don't give nothing at all. Nothing at all. We wasted our years. Someone with the year for 17 years, not even staff then don't get. And we down here and we wasted our years. This is just like a waste with years down here. We don't nothing at all. And I don't care no more. Bahia have us like slave down here.
When we hear about the private sector's organization of Jamaica, who own these hotels? And why can't the Ministry of Labor regulate these companies so that they can benefit the regular Jamaican people? But I'm still talking about the Ministry of Labor. And in my opinion, the Ministry of Labor has been an ineffective ministry under the PNP and under the GLP government. Let's jump into another regulatory body.
In the beginning, there was the Jamaica Bureau of Standards. Over the years, the Bureau has changed to conform to global trends, which tries to establish a national quality infrastructure. So our accreditation body came out and it became JANAC. Then our certification body came out and it became the National Certification Body of Jamaica. Then recent times, to 2016, the National Regulatory and Compliance Body, the NCRA, was formed. So those four organizations now form the National Quality Infrastructure. It conforms to the National Quality Policy that was tabled in the House.
Yes. What then is the BSJ doing?
Okay, so the BSJ is left with standardization. So it deals with standardization, metrology, and conformity assessments. Yes, meaning conformity assessments, meaning testing, calibration, and we do training.
And this one is a farce. Can we all laugh together? Ha ha! Now the Bureau of Standard is there to regulate the things that comes into our country. Their duty is to test these products to see if it has any harmful things to the environment, if it's harmful to the Jamaican people, or if it's worthy of being consumed, or the effects that it will leave on our country. Now, let us take, for example, when the Bureau of Standard are supposed to test cigarettes and cigarettes to see if these cigarettes are safe for the Jamaican people. And the Bureau of Standard will put their signature on it. Yep, this is safe for the Jamaican people. Because a part of their duty is to make sure that the labeling, whatever is in the product, is on the label. But when it comes on to cigarettes, just let's use the cigarette for an example. On the cigarette box, it says, smoking is hazardous to your health. Smoking causes cancer. Secondhand smoking is harmful. Yet the Bureau of Standards put its signature on this product and say, oh yeah, it's okay for you to let this into the country. And so more often than not, I see on the TV where the news forecast says, and today the police officers crack down on illegal cigarettes.
Carreras says the government's strategy to get more revenues from tobacco products by raising taxes has backfired. The company said collections were $1 billion. Managing Director Marcus Steele says that's because consumers turn to lower-priced cigarettes, mostly from the illicit trade.
Flowing in our country. Illegal cigarettes? Is there anything as illegal cigarettes? I thought that all cigarettes were illegal. Because with that, the kind of label there, where they on the cigarette box, we say it harmful and cigarette causes cancer. How is it that these companies, these regulatory bodies allow this to come into our country? And then you're going to crack down on some other cigarettes. Oh, it's not safe, or it's not cancerous enough. So we have to crack down on these cigarettes. Bureau of Standards. Let us all laugh together. It's a farce. The financial regulation. Let us jump over into the financial regulation.
This is FSC's Financial Forum, where we explore topics related to securities, insurance, and private pensions, as well as the regulatory environment within which these industries operate. Hello, my name is David Geddes. I'm the Director of Stakeholder Engagement, Communication and International Relations at the Financial Services Commission, FSC. FSC was established in 2001 to promote integrity in the financial sector and protect consumers of financial services in the non-deposit-taking financial sector. The FSC and the Bank of Jamaica together regulate and supervise Jamaica's trillion-dollar financial sector.
Now, the duty of the financial regulation is to ensure that these companies, these predators who lends money to the Jamaican people, the vulnerable Jamaican people. And trust me, people, if you have your shit all together, then you don't need any money to borrow from these institutions. And these institutions make sure that they always grab you at the point where you are most vulnerable. The more vulnerable you are searching for a loan, is the higher your interest rate is going to be. And so the duty of the financial regulation is to make sure that the financial company don't give you a predatory loan. To make sure that they are following the rules and guidelines in the interest of the Jamaican people. Really?
FSC was established as part of a response that policymakers had to the crisis, the financial sector crisis of the mid-1990s, the mid to late 1990s. Policymakers realized from the experiences of the crisis, which was costly. It was costly to both Jamaican society and to the economy. And in order to prevent such an occurrence, they took a very in-depth look at the causes of the crisis. And what was realized, among other things, was that the crisis reflected, in part, a failure of governance within the financial institutions.
Based on what you just said, if an entity fails, what are some of the powers or measures put in place to treat with it?
Well, we would like to intervene long before a company fails.
Right.
So the measures that we have available to us is not just in relation to a failure. It actually speaks to an assessment that we make on an ongoing basis as to the financial health and viability of the institutions that we regulate. And based on that assessment, we are empowered to take corrective action, which may include the FSC giving what are called directions, which are essentially orders for the entity to do certain specific or to take certain specific actions within a specified frame of time to correct a deficiency. Issue a cease and desist order, which is an order to stop doing something, to suspend or cancel a license or a registration.
What is the relationship between FSC and Bank of Jamaica?
I would classify that relationship as being a brother and a sister relationship.
The one that fights a lot?
The financial regulation. Do you believe that you are doing a very good job? Because these payday loans and these credit cards and these loans, these impossible loans that you lend to people, I don't think you are lending people these money for them to pay you. I believe that you are lending them this money so that they can forfeit on the loan, and so you can raise the interest rate, and so you can get more money from the people because they are vulnerable. So this is my opinion now. These regulatory bodies, if they are effective, if they are really and truly working, I don't believe that they are in the best interest of the Jamaican people. I believe that they are in the interest of the private sectors. But people, let us be real and let us be fair. These loans that we are getting, these JPS complaints, these things that are coming into our country, if we do not report these things, then the regulatory bodies, they really and truly don't have anything that they can do to help us. But the ministries that's supposed to watch over these regulatory bodies, they don't care about us. And so they watch us over the years while we fight over petty things. What they do now is to always pit the PNP against the labor rights, and they cause division. And this brings me to a part in Curly Lox's book, The Planet Earth, where he mentioned an African story that says the shepherd teaches the sheep to be afraid of the wolf, not knowing that one day this same sheep is going to be on the plate of the shepherd. So we are out here cursing the JLP, cursing the PNP, stroking division, not knowing that all of us are going to be on the plates of these shepherds that sit over us to regulate these bodies and claim that they should be in the interest. Oh, we're all about the interest of the Jamaican people. So my people, these regulatory bodies could be very effective. And there can be things that I am missing out on. But my people, if you know these people who are the movers and shakers and the changers, who can make some decision for the improvement of these services, if you know any of them, ask them to come over here, some man, check in and let us have a reasoning. Because like I always say, there's no one person who has the solution for anything. And so when we reason about these things, we try to find the solution so we can move forward. So this is my opinion. These regulatory bodies, nope, you're not doing a good job. And if anyone out there think that I am not the only person who believe that they are not in the best interest of the Jamaican people, text in the comment section. If you like my program, press the like button. If you don't like the program, you can also press the dislike button. But I would just like for you to say to me why you don't like my program. This is the only program that I ask that you express yourself in whatever way you want. Be as disrespectful as your character permits you to do. Yes. Text, comment, subscribe. Anyway, my people, this is my views for today.
Call Dougal, my style them unusual. The views when me speak, you no need to agree. Me welcome all interactivity. Rock and come in, sit for your beat. Come make we reason for real.
And yo, Jal, I'ma say comment when you need to, like if you want to, and share if you have to. And yo, Jal.